Hello everyone, today we're going to do the holiday collection from Guerlain, and I might have saved the best for last, so I know a lot of you were looking forward to this, and I just wanted to thank you for your patience because I had a very difficult time getting a hold of the Meteorites Wulong Compact, which I have in my hand right here, and it's a gorgeous product, so I will start with this. I adore Meteorites, and I don't use them every day because I like to save them for special occasions where I want that soft focus effect and really great radiant skin. So a lot of times I'll use them when I know I'll be photographed, which is generally not very often because I try to avoid the camera as much as possible. But when I do, I usually use the Guerlain Meteorites Pearls, which is the permanent one, in the number 3 color, which has blues and greens and whites and purples. But this is my first pressed voyage compact, and I have to say I didn't think it would be worth the money, but it definitely was. And if you're looking for something that you want to travel with, I highly recommend it because the Meteorites for this collection, the dragon version, looks very similar to the compact, except it's in the loose version, just like I showed you with the permanent one. However, one of my viewers on Instagram had already told me that she traveled with this and the case was somehow damaged. And she wanted to know if the quality on both of these tins was the same. And they are. They're not different, they're the same weight. So if you have the same dilemma as she does, then you definitely want to purchase the compact version because it has a lot of weight in it. Granted, this product is very expensive, so at best have some heft or else people wouldn't buy it. But I also have the Meteorites pressed, the matte versions, the matte illuminating powders, in 2 and 3, and you guys know how much I love those in the summer. But I feel like this is the more grown-up version, and it's the limited edition, so it is a collector's item. So if you're looking for this, I highly recommend you pick it up right away because it is very difficult to get your hands on this at the moment. It has a mixture of pink and white and brightening and some matte and some shimmer, but the shimmer is very, very fun. It just provides the most beautiful soft effect focus on the skin, so I highly recommend you look into both of those. Now for my nail polish. I first fell in love with this Lu Ling, and the collection is called Lu, by the way, if you guys haven't read yet, above in the title. This Lu Ling nail polish is probably one of the best vampy colors of this season. It actually doesn't wear as long as I had hoped. Granted, you have to keep in mind though that I'm constantly cooking, washing my hands, or I'm at the gym. So this is without a base, and I have one chipped nail thus far, but everything else looks really good except for some minor tip wear, and I've had the nail polish on for a week. What I didn't expect, however, was to love the number 3 Altoum, I believe, nail polish. This is the gold one. I love this nail polish, and I think between the two I would definitely have to recommend this, even though it just looks mundane in the bottle. It is the most gorgeous, warm, but not overly brassy gold with a hint of rose in it, and it does show brush strokes, and that might be of concern to some, but if you have a steady hand or if you have a professional paint your nails for you, then it shouldn't be a problem. But it looks just like any ordinary gold in the bottle, but it translates to a nudie gold with a little bit of rose, like I said, and on the nails it's just perfect for light to medium golden skin tones like mine. So I really, really adore this, and I highly recommend this. And now for the first eyeshadow palette of this collection. This is the number 500 4-color eyeshadow palette, and I adore this. And TimTalia.com, Christine, the writer, wore this quad on her wedding day, and I can totally see why, because it is phenomenal in quality and texture. This gold is not too brassy, not too copper, but it's quite visible on the eye, and it's a great transition color, which is how I used it today. And then you have a shimmering mauve, which is also not too red. And then you have this deeper mauve purple, which does run a little red, but it's still very wearable, and it mixes very well with this slightly plum tinged brown here. This brown is very shimmery, and it has a very, very soft frost effect. Now for the review that everyone's been asking me for. This is the Lu Eye and Lip Calligraphy Palette, and obviously this is the centerpiece of the Lu collection. It has 4 eyeshadows and 2 lipsticks. And I will go ahead and swatch all of these on my blog, so go ahead and take a look at the link below. And I have to say I was really impressed with this combination, and yes, even though these eyeshadows can be found anywhere, these are probably some of the best Guerlain shadows that I own. And I really love the ivory as a highlight. It's soft and not overly shimmery. This gold here, which is the primary color used on the model in the ad campaign, is phenomenally pigmented. I mean, it is so so beautiful because all you need is a touch of product and you'll get a complete eye look. It's gorgeous. And the taupe below it is more of a silvery gray taupe, but it's still complex and it still reads slightly warmer on me than it does in the pan, which was again another pleasant surprise. But lastly, I was really impressed with the matte black. Very easy to control with very little fallout. So again, I was quite taken aback by this palette and I'm super impressed with it. So even though it does have a higher price tag, I really love the lacquered packaging. I think it's stunning and I think Guerlain could not have executed this palette better. So get your hands on this one as soon as possible. Between the two, I still think that the quad is of better value just because the colors are more wearable, and I know a lot of my subscribers, even though not everybody loves plums and mauves, I still find that the addition of the gold makes this one a little bit more wearable because the Lou palette is more of a nighttime special occasion palette. So I think this is more of an everyday, more versatile palette, but the Lou is definitely a showstopper, and that is why I have to say that even though I think that the quad is more practical, this is the one I would recommend. Also, to top it off, this is the Shalimar Eau de la Vanille Eau de Parfum, and I have been loving this vanilla scent. My first Guerlain vanilla fragrance was Angelique Noir, and it's a very, very expensive perfume and it's quite exclusive. Generally, I recommend buying it online. But I have to say, even though this Shalimar version is a lot more affordable, it's about $100 cheaper or a little more actually, I have to say that I might even prefer this one to Angelique Noir. Angelique Noir is a little bit more sophisticated. I think this Eau de la Vanille is a little easier to wear, especially for a Shalimar. I think a lot of times people are overwhelmed by Shalimars. They think it's an older, more mature woman's perfume, and generally I might say I agree. But this one is a warm, comforting vanilla that's easy to wear, and if you've never tried a Shalimar before, I think this is a great place to start. So I love the limited edition packaging, so again, this would make a great gift. I do know that a lot of you tend to wait before purchasing pieces from a collection because I get your comments and questions about them all the time. So if you were waiting for this video, I do apologize for how long it took me. It just was that this Meteorites Wulong was so difficult to track down, but I really appreciate all of your support, and I do hope that you have a wonderful holiday whether you celebrate Christmas or not. So happy holidays everyone, and let's get started with the tutorial. So as you can see, I'm already wearing foundation. I'm using the Lingerie de Peau foundation in number 3. Now I'm going to top off my complexion with my Guerlain Meteorites Wulong pressed powder, and I'm going to use my Bobbi Brown blender brush for this. This is actually a bronzer brush, but I like to use it for face powders like this. And I feel like this sets the Guerlain foundation really well. They work perfectly together. I personally love the product. It has a really subtle fragrance. It's not glittery, it's ultra fine and very smooth, but I just love the soft focus effect it gives me. And I probably could have used some concealer, but you know, once we finish the rest of the makeup, it'll really brighten up the look. I am now going to use the Meteorite pearls. Now, don't be scared of the mauve and pink pearls in this particular powder because you can use it all over your face, and I have done it. The pink and the purple are very, very subtle mauve tones, so it doesn't really affect the way my foundation looks, but I actually like to use this right underneath the eye to brighten up the complexion. And like I mentioned, this product is a touch more glittery than the Meteorites that I just used in the pressed form. Now I'm going to take the gorgeous Lou Lip and Eye Calligraphy palette and start with the top eyeshadow shade. And this holiday I've been really loving these paler highlight shades. So today I'm going to cover the tear duct, and I'm also going to place some on the brow bone. And as you guys know, I rarely like to highlight my brow bone because I think it creates a very harsh effect. This time, however, because the shadow is so refined, it's in no way obnoxious, so I am using it over the brow bone. Now I'm going to take the gold shade in the 500 palette, and I'm going to place this gold into the crease, and I'm going to work it up toward the brow bone, and I'm going to use this as a transitioning color between the ivory and any of the darker shades that I place on the lid. Now we're going to take the copper in the Lou palette, and using a smaller crease brush, I'm going to place it right into the socket for a warmer effect. Now I'm going to pick up the taupe and place it all over the lid. And some of you might wonder, you know, why did I take two similar coppery golds and layer them together into the crease? Well, that's because when you layer colors like that, you get a more interesting depth of color, and when you close and open your eyes, people will be able to see the ivory gold transition into the lighter gold and then into the coppery gold. Now, going back to the 500 palette, I'm going to take the shimmery mauve on top, and I'm going to place it in the outer corner, and I'm going to just work the rest of the color in. And we're going to use this as a transition between the coppery gold and the beautifully complex taupe that we just put down. This will ground down the eye, so to speak, instead of letting the copper take over the entire eye look, because it is quite a powerfully pigmented color. And now for some smokiness, I'm going to take this darker chocolate granite. This shade does have purple in it, so it really coordinates well with the shimmery mauve that we just put into the outer corner. And I'm going to focus on winging this out somewhat, gently placing it on top of the complex taupe from the Lou palette. Not too much. Now, one last step before we move back into the Lou palette, I'm going to take the purple down below, and using the pointy tip applicator, I'm just going to rim the outer half of my lower lash line with it. Now I'm going to take the Lou palette and line my eyes with the black eyeshadow provided. I'm actually going to use, again, the sponge tip. I'm also going to trace the outer corner of my eye with it. And as you can see, I'm just building the liner to be the thickest and darkest at the outer corner. And here is the eyeshadow look so far. I just wanted to give you a zoomed out version so that you could see it on my whole face instead of just looking right at my eyeball. And so now we're going to finish up with a little bit more eyeliner and lashes. So just take whatever pencil eyeliner you have on hand and rim your waterline. Now I'm going to curl my eyelashes and apply some mascara. And I might just keep the look without lashes today, so we'll see. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is the final eye look. And now we'll zoom out so we can finish up the rest of the face. But I did want to mention that I focused on building the mascara at the outer corners instead of applying all the way into the inner corner to give that really flared shape. Now, the model in the ad campaign has very fair skin, so she's not wearing bronzer. But today I am going to add a little bit of color to my face with my Terracotta Mineral Bronzer, which is my favorite Guerlain bronzer. And usually this isn't the one of choice, but this is the one that I find that works best for me. And I use the number 2 medium. This bronzer is actually really silky, and I've talked about it before. And now that my complexion and eyes are complete, I'm going to top off with the lips, and I'm going to use my Shine Automatiques, and I'm going to start with the Berry Red. I recommend that you apply it gently with a light hand, and then I'm going to take the gold, which is a beautiful mixer. I'm going to top it with a heavier layer. And so as you can see, it tones down the lip color and it looks more like the shade that the model is wearing in the ad campaign. I definitely recommend wearing these two together. At first I thought the gold would be irrelevant and almost a waste because it is pretty translucent, but it adds this extra dimension to the berry that warms up yet still brightens the complexion. And I know that for holiday parties I will be turning to this. So I highly recommend it, and if you don't like glittery lipsticks, the Shine Automatiques might not be for you because there is a higher glitter content, but it doesn't feel gritty on my lips. It just looks glittery in the tube. And as you guys know, my lips are very sensitive and they don't tend to do well with extra glittery products, but these do work for me and I am loving the color combination. And if any of you are going out to a holiday party, don't forget to top with your loose scented shimmer powder, and all you have to do is squeeze. It smells beautiful. And it'll add a bit of pizzazz to your holiday look that, you know, you might have been missing before. So definitely check out all these products. And like I said, I don't recommend Nordstrom this time around because most of the products are sold out there. Definitely check out Neiman Marcus, Bergdorf Goodman, Bloomingdale's, the like, and you'll probably have better luck there. So thanks so much for tuning in, everyone, and I'll see you all very soon. Bye.